Hi folks, so we've got the Les Paul recording here. There's a lot going on here that I don't really know much about, but you do.
I know a little bit, yeah. So I can certainly try to help decipher some of this stuff out.
Okay, where's the best place to start?
The reason why this has so many of these things anyway is because the thing that makes it real special is the pickups. So let's start there, if that's okay with you. Think of it this way. Pickups are normally high impedance. These are low impedance. So the main thing you should know is that these are different from traditional pickups. Okay. But we should understand a little bit more than that. A microphone, for the most part, most microphones, most high quality recording microphones are low impedance.
Right.
So that means that these pickups and higher end microphones, recording microphones, are both in the same impedance range. Whereas normal pickups, like a normal pickup, a humbucker on a normal Les Paul that isn't a Les Paul recording, is a high impedance pickup. Right. Now, a guitar amplifier, the input on that is a high impedance input. So it's made to work well with a high impedance pickup. Low impedance pickups, on the other hand, just like microphones, should go into a low impedance input preamp, like a mic preamp or a console. And that's definitely what, when Les Paul, the man, the legend, the inventor, the icon, dreamed up of this thing, it was definitely because he like I said, he was an inventor, he was a tinkerer, he was an electronics, wizard, and he wanted the cleanest possible sound when recording. And it's no coincidence, this is called the Les Paul recording, right? So he wanted to make a guitar that was super clean, so he was like, well, why not just match the impedance from the guitar already with the recording device that I'm going to be plugging this thing into, and instead of plugging into an amp and putting a microphone in front of that amp and recording that, why not just go straight from here into the recorder? Fortunately, this guitar has a switch on here, that this high-low output switch. So these pickups, actually inside here, there's a little transformer. And with this switch, it takes different taps of that transformer, and through the output jack over here, you can actually have it in high impedance or low impedance. Right. So if you want to plug into a normal amplifier, which has a high impedance input, you just switch it to high impedance, and then it's a normal guitar at that point.
The obvious thing for me when I was doing this, the demo on it, is, what I'm going to say, is the decade button.
Decade, yeah.
Decade knob. I mean, I still don't know what it does.
The decade knob, which is actually a switch, by the way, when you turn this thing, it has different positions. It's not like a
it's not like a
volume
dial,
where it's The decade switch on these guitars is very confusing because when you're plugged into a normal amp in the high impedance output mode, it does nothing. You can't hear it. Yeah. You've probably spent some time with it.
I spent quite a lot of time.
Yeah, you can't really tell what's going on. But when you're in low impedance mode and you're plugged straight into a console, straight into a mic pre, what it is a very subtle tonal change. Kind of thing, right? It's like a tone, and it works in conjunction, I think, with the tone. But the reason why it's called decade, it's not because if you're playing disco, you have to set it to 70s or
I pretended I was doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's fine. You can pretend whatever you want. It's a free country. But it's called decade because it's really nerdy, but it's a measurement in the world of electronics, audio. I think it's, if you were to plot like the decrease in frequency cuts or something like that, it's measured in decades. It's kind of like centimeters or kilometers or whatever. It's a decade is it's a measurement in the world of electronics as it pertains to this.
Right. Okay. Probably my favorite part of the guitar is the phase switch. It's just got an incredible sound. For anyone who doesn't really know what it sounds like, if I do this, it kind of sounds like that. That's probably the best way I can describe it.
That's a great way of describing it. Yeah.
I got it from someone else.
Oh, really?
I don't know who. Otherwise, I give them credit.
I was gonna explain what it is, but what's the point? That's all you need to know.
I'm done.
Yeah. Cool. See you later. This is what Les Paul loved. This is what he played. This is 100%, like if you could represent Les Paul in one guitar, this is kind of it. In fact, if you see pictures of him playing, this is kind of, he had one that had a device right here that was a sound on sound device, and he could record and loop with this little onboard thing really early on too. I mean, he was quite a genius.
Quite ahead of his time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these are usually walnut or natural wood color, the grand majority of them. And occasionally we get a white one in. It's pretty rare that we get a white one in, so this is very cool. And sometimes you see black ones, which are like super rare. This tuxedo version though is really beautiful, especially yellowed out like this. I think I don't know, it just looks kind of timeless.
Yeah.
And it's a historically important instrument because of him.
Yeah. He wasn't a fan of the 15, 17, 19. Didn't like the 22nd fret though, did he?
No, all you need, I mean, who's going to play the 22nd fret on the low E? Only on the high E. Well, no. There it is.
There we go.
That's all you need.
That's music.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Anyone spending time up here on the low strings should be doing something else, for sure.
There we go.
No offense to you weirdos out there.